Hey everybody, this is Deez Sports Nut Volume 4. I'm the coach. I'm here with the collector. And our special guest today, which you'll see here pairing with us, the kid. Greatest nickname of all time, Gaby Ruth. That's my ultimate favorite.
Love it.
Yeah. Pee-wee football champion this year. Definitely held the trophy.
Okay.
Cracked some Kool-Aids. So he's here with us tonight to talk all things sports. We're excited to have him. We're excited to be here. We're excited for our mediocre engineer, Josh, sitting back there. Welcome, Josh.
Thanks, buddy.
Your headphones and your haircut are questionable right now. It's not looking good. Okay? Hey, that's why we keep you off the air.
It's about sound quality, not the looks, buddy.
You're the best engineer money can buy, buddy. So we got you. But anyways, hey, so we're here with Gabe, and we're moving on here to the Super Bowl. Obviously, the big Super Bowl game is coming in a couple days, and we want to talk about that because it's one of the biggest sporting events in the world. I think people would argue about the World Cup.
Yeah.
Jordan,
Yeah. Football is mainly a North American sport because football overseas is soccer, but it's huge.
What do you think, Gabe?
I think it's the biggest sporting event besides soccer, but I prefer football, obviously. But definitely for America, it's definitely the biggest sport. Like it blows NBA and the MLB viewings out of the water for their championship series and stuff.
Yeah,
awesome. I think our 30 seconds is selling about $7 million this year. I heard parking in LA is crazy. It's like $950 to $4 to park, whether that's true or not. Tickets are crazy. But before we get into the game, I have a question for both you guys. I'll start with the collector over there, then we'll hit the kid. Now that everyone knows about this halftime show, a lot of people tune in for the commercials. A lot of people tune in for the halftime show, but we have Dre, Snoop, Kendrick Lamar, Mary J, Eminem. We have all these people. What's bigger, the game or halftime? I'll go to the collector first.
It's huge. I mean, it takes me back. I went to see the Up in Smoke tour in the early 2000s, and a lot of those acts were on that tour. It's going to be amazing. And with it being set in LA, I couldn't figure anybody better to be on the halftime show. I'll definitely be tuning in for that. I don't know. It's tough, man. It's tough. It's going to be a great concert. Dre didn't agree to do it without setting up something very, very nice. And you mentioned to me earlier there's going to be some surprise guests.
What do you think?
I think the game will be bigger, but this is definitely the best halftime show that we've had in recent history. I think the only one that could compare to it, I think it was like Super Bowl 50. I forget who it was, but she made it like a huge thing. But the recent ones have really not been good. So
yeah, they kind of fell short. And I think, this is the Super Bowl. I really think after the whole Janet Jackson thing, I think the NFL really played it close to the vest. And they probably a lot of restrictions on what could happen. And, hey, let's face it, we're in L.A. This game is huge. And they're realizing that it's a competition thing. And it's a league thing. And they brought in the biggest acts in the world. When's the last time this group's been on the stage together?
Yeah.
You think about that. My wife got a shirt because she's all fired up. And, Dre and Snoop Snoop's a baby in the picture. So it's been a long time probably since they've all been on the stage together. And they called yesterday, they during their thing with Nate Burleson, they interviewed Dre and Snoop and Mary J, and they said lots of surprises, lots of surprise guests, wouldn't say anything. So they're pulling out all the stops. And I think the NFL needs this. Let's face it, it's a hip-hop league. Let's embrace the hip-hop. Let's bring these guys out. I think it's great. I think the game is huge, but when you get acts like Michael Jackson, Whitney Houston, and then now Dre, I think that it might be a push.
I do have like Kendrick Lamar kind of gets left in the dust, but he's the new age LA guy, and I definitely think my prediction would be that they're going to do something for Nipsey Hussle.
Yeah.
He was a big LA artist whose life was cut too short. I do think that they'll do something for him, but Kendrick Lamar kind of brings it to nowadays. Everybody knows Dre and Snoop, but.
Yeah. That would bring in, I think, a little younger kids, like teenagers and stuff, which is really good for business and stuff to bring in more viewers. So.
And much respect for them including the new wave.
Yeah.
They didn't have to. They could have been stubborn. But, Dre's always been progressive, and that's what makes him Dre. So, hey, we got that kind of out of the way a little bit. Let's talk about the game here, and I'll start with you, Gabe. What do you think here? Can the Bengals keep things rolling?
I believe so, but I think it's going to be a really good game. But I have the Bengals winning. I just think Joe Burrow's just going to pull it out in the end. I think it's going to be a close game, but, it could go either way. It's like a roll of the dice. So.
Taking the Bengals, okay.
What do you think, Jordan?
I think the Rams are going to win. I think the Rams are better on both sides of the ball, player in, player out. McVay as a coach is just amazing. I think he's going to dial up some stuff. I don't think the pressure is going to get to him. So I'm going to say go Rams. I do think it's going to be a great game, though. I don't think it's going to be a blowout in any form or fashion.
Yeah, I've been wrong about the Bengals all playoffs. I really have.
You got to say who day, huh?
Yeah, who day. I mean, I got to do the gritty too, but I'll save that for
Save
private.
that for TikTok.
Yeah, TikTok. Yeah, but Josh, yes, I can pull off the gritty. A little bit of practice. I tried flossing. Flossing was ridiculous.
Yeah.
Gritty's very similar, but at least you're keeping it all in the front.
Right.
But I mean, going back to the Bengals, I've been wrong the whole time talking about them. I guess I kept thinking, it seems like in the NFL, these rookie guys get close. And it's like, okay, sooner or later, go home, Joe, and next year's your year. But he's kind of pushed right through that. And I remember I told you last week, and I said it again, but it's worth repeating. I saw him get off that plane with that fur and that big Nike chain. I'm like, man, this guy really believes he's going to win.
Yeah.
And I think that's pretty tough. The question is, and we'll get into these keys of the game, and I mean, first of all, let's go segue right into this, and I'll start with you, Jordan. What you think about this? Who has more on the line here, the old vet or the young rookie, Burrow or Stafford?
Going back to what you said, Burrow has a certain confidence about himself that I don't think a loss will change his career.
Yes.
I think it'll give him more hunger to come back in the off season, work harder to get back. Stafford has so much to prove. No matter each step along the way, it's like, okay, he's really showing it. He's showing why he's the number one pick. I've been saying it the whole time. He has that gusto. If he loses though to Burrow, it's gonna really hurt his confidence.
Okay, what do you think?
I think it's definitely for Matthew Stafford, because Joe Burrow, they're 2 years away from going 2-14. But with Matthew Stafford, he got put in with so many weapons. They went out to get Von Miller to upgrade that stellar defense, and then bring in Odell Beckham, who has really shown out, I think. So
Yeah, that's an outstanding take
Yeah.
from both you guys. Now, so as I heard you talking about that, here's the question that pops into my head. Two things. Okay, first of all, does it help or hurt Stafford that he has more pressure? This is a big pressure game. You hear about McNabb getting sick from the pressure of the game and couldn't breathe. You hear the guys say it's different. So does that pressure help or hurt the Rams? So that's the first question. Is everybody feeling this pressure? And the next thing is there any advantage to being at home in the Super Bowl? Gabe, I'll start with you.
I think there's a huge advantage, especially just because LA is one of the biggest, just businesses, and the Week 18 game when they played the 49ers, they didn't have a big showing, but in the playoffs, every time they played at home, it's been huge. And you could tell in the 49ers games, the 49ers were up, but the Rams were always, I think, were a better team there. I was rooting for the Niners, but they were always I always had a feeling that they were just going to break loose at one point, and the fans really helped that game.
I felt the exact same way. I couldn't agree with you more. You felt like the Rams were in control the whole time.
Yeah.
What do you think?
The routine. The routine everybody says about the Super Bowl, it's a whole different routine, and they always in the past would go to how many guys on the team have been here before. Well, they've been there all year, so they're able to sleep in their beds. Their practice stuff is in the same place. The Bengals are coming into the big city, but along the way, the Bengals were never supposed to win. You know what I mean? The Rams brought in Odell Beckham, Von Miller, Floyd. They got these great players to win. The Bengals aren't supposed to win. So they have nothing to lose. So I don't know. I don't know how much pressure they have on themselves unless they're putting it on themselves. But I just don't see that. I don't see that.
Yeah, and not to diminish what we're trying to do and what thousands of others are trying to do across the country right now and prognosticate this game.
Right.
But Al Michaels was on with Stern this week, and I was listening to him, and they're very good friends, talk about the odd couple, but we'll leave that for another day. But Al Michaels was saying, they said, what's your prediction? He said, I'm going to tell you this. He said, I've been doing games for years with John Madden, and he went back to Bob Trumpy and all kind of guys, and Al Collinsworth. He said, one thing we know for sure is we're never right. We think certain things are going to work out a certain way. He had no prediction for the game. But, not to diminish what we're talking about right now, but, that just kind of puts it in perspective. We don't understand those factors, and I even know as a coach sometimes we're always saying, we underestimated them. We took them, maybe we took them lightly, somebody would say. We weren't prepared. We were looking ahead to next week. It's all kind of coach speak. So how much will these factors affect them, or when these guys get in the field, will they forget it? Is this young group of Bengals just bulletproof enough that they're going to go through it? Who knows? But getting deeper into the game here, let's talk about this. Let's talk about pressure. I think the Bengals did a great job of pressuring last week. Didn't really expect that as much. You expect it from the Rams. Gabe, who do you think, first of all, who will get more pressure? And if they both get pressure, which quarterback do you think it'll affect more?
I feel like the Rams would get more pressure, but if they would both get the same amount of pressure, I feel like Matt Stafford would fold under pressure. Because you can see in that Chiefs game, Joe Burrow stood tall in that pocket, and he ruled out and just shredded off defenders and did what he had to do to win that game.
Yeah, you're right on. You're exactly right. Aaron Donald just finds a way throughout the game, but you have to assume that they're going to game plan to double team him, so somebody else is going to have to step up. They have other pass rushers. I think more pressure will come from the Bengals. I think Hendrickson and Hubbard are both going to get to Stafford. I just don't think it's going to rattle him enough or McVay enough to get off of the game plan to switch the game. But momentum is huge. If they get to him early and he's off, he throws a pick early, you just never know.
Yeah, I don't want to sound like a Joe Burrow hater because I really like the guys. But
Me too.
I'm just probably going to go against him again. I think the gig's kind of up. You look earlier in the playoffs, he takes 9 sacks. They definitely did a better job, but I think that, I think they will double Aaron Donald. But I think, I think they'll focus. I think Floyd has a big game. He's been really quiet in these playoffs. I think he's the kind of guy that steps up as a big game. I think the gig's kind of up a little bit, and I think that they're going to be able to get on top of them. But it's going to come down to, can Ramsey play, Chase, which we'll get into here. That is an important question. So we talked about the pressure. Now let's talk about after you pressure that man-to-man coverage. Ramsey showed some chinks in the armor last week, getting beat deep. Jordan, I'll start with you first. I mean, what do you think about that? So you're looking at who's the pressure effect, and then when you're pressuring, you're going to be man, or you're probably doubling cup. What do you think about that?
Yeah, when it comes to Ramsey versus Chase, I think he will shut him down most of the game, but he will get beat deep. They're going to Chase is just going to keep going deep and keep going deep. You can never count him out. It's going to be those other guys across the middle. The tight end being out hurts.
Higbee, that's huge because he would cut across.
Higbee and Uzomah are both out, right?
Well,
Uzomah's back.
He's going to play.
Oh, that's huge.
He's going to play.
That's
I guess
huge.
he wore a knee brace.
Yeah,
as
he took it off and threw it off. And
I missed that. Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, it was awesome.
That changes the whole game plan. Then, Chase can continue to run those straight routes because you have Uzomah coming across the middle, Higgins coming across the middle. So I do think Chase gets over on Ramsey, but I think they're going to adjust the safeties in that direction.
Yeah, I think it probably affects the Bengals more. They don't have quite the backup. The young boy from the Rams did pretty good last, so if they would, I think it probably affects the Bengals more. But Gabe, what's your take on that?
Well, I feel like the Bengals have to run a zone coverage and bring Jesse Bates down to cover Cooper Kupp or run with either I don't know, whoever. They have a couple. They could go with either Eli Apple. I think Mike Hilton's been playing stellar in the playoffs. He's been just like a veteran experience there just to help that defense just accelerate and what they haven't been for the past couple years, So
yeah, I mean, I think you definitely have to bring those do some kind of bracket on Kupp. I mean, I'm sure. I mean, people try everything on him. The thing about the Rams is they run all those crossers, and he just it's hard to chip them. And then also, he's blocking you. Sometimes you're fighting off blocks. Yeah. He's so complete, and and he seems to always get open. And Matthew Stafford has shown a real knack of getting the ball to him. They showed a clip today of him throwing that one touchdown, the one that Kupp caught real low, and he threw it sidearm underneath the defender. So he throws some tough arm slots too. He's definitely battle tested. My personal opinion on that, I really think, again, the Rams get the better of that. I think they're a little bit deeper in that core. I think they'll protect Stafford a little bit more. They're really healthy up front, plus with backups. I think they'll get the best of that too. And again, I think Ramsey may get beat once, but I think for the most part he'll pretty much shut Chase down. But going along with that, let me go into the next thing. So we talked about Ramsey versus Chase. We probably talked about the zone under against Kupp. We did talk about that, and maybe they'll double them. But let's talk about this. So if Chase and Kupp are out of the game, Gabe, who do you think has a bigger game, OBJ or Higgins?
Well, I would feel like T. Higgins. I mean, Beckham's explosive, but they're going to have to focus on Tyler Boyd, too. You can't forget about him.
Yes,
and then also mixing out of the backfield is always deadly because he's just so explosive when he gets that ball. Yeah. But, yeah, Tyler Boyd is, in my opinion, he's one of the most underrated receivers. He can do so much. They just don't – he's just shadowed under, like, great guys like Jamar Chase and T. Higgins.
Yes.
So, I mean –
Yeah, great take.
What do you think?
Tyler Boyd, a pick. I love him. Shameless plug. We have an autographed Bengals helmet at the shop at Main Street Hobby of Tyler Boyd. If he ends up being the MVP, you better come in and get it. Thing about it is, like, what I've seen over recent weeks since the Rams have got it together is when Kupp is double teamed, that means you have the single on OBJ. That doesn't always mean run a fly. He's finding a way, like that wheel. I don't know if you've seen, they like run this like wheel where he ends up open. That play, I don't know, just somehow he seems to ignite, and he's okay getting 5, 7, 9 yards. I really think OBJ wants to win. And I think he's going to have a stellar game. I also think Higgins is going to have a great game, and a little bit later on I'll get into that because both of them are going to be included in some props that I think are going to hit. I think both of them are going to have great games, Higgins and OBJ. I can't say who's going to have a better game, though.
But you forget about Van Jefferson and Cooper Kupp, and they seem to be clustering those guys a lot over there. You have Van to take the top off of this, and then, who do you cover on some sort of a flood route when you have Cooper Kupp and you have OBJ? And, again, they all work together, whether they're crossing, whether they're doing they're really deep as well too, and Akers is no slouch. We're going to get into the running backs here next, and I really want to be honest with you. I think Akers is going to explode. I think he's the sleeping giant of the whole group. Again, I sound like I'm so pro. I am kind of pulling for the Rams. Aaron Donald's on there. Of course, I love Tyler Boyd. Again, it's probably hard for you to root for the Rams because you're a Cardinals guy.
Yeah, but you know what? If they win, hey, we lost to the Super Bowl champ, right? That's like my only.
You didn't just lose; you got blown out.
Wow, whoa! This is coming from
the kid.
This is coming from a kid wearing a Cam Newton jersey.
Yeah.
Okay. I know he's bad, but like.
No, Cam Newton's a freak athlete. I'm with Gabe on that one.
They're bad.
2015 Cam Newton, you can't.
Probably before your time, but I remember Jake Delhomme. We beat him.
Yeah, I know.
Long before your time.
Yeah, long before your time. Long before and nobody
14,
cares.
Right?
Yeah.
We're number 14, right? They lost to Heartbreaker to New England. Started their dynasty, so I mean.
Oh man, it's all
factual.
over. The kid.
He has a Kyler Murray jersey too.
Yeah, I have a couple jerseys. I also have a Joe Burrow jersey. So
okay.
I don't know. When Jordan's contract's up, he might be in big trouble. That's all I know.
Oh man.
We're gonna let the Pro Wrestling Extreme Talk buy him out.
Wow. What are you getting back? A garbage can for?
Yep. Whiteboard. Jordan to the Pro Wrestling Extreme Talk. That's all we'll have to do. But anyways, coming back here, bringing us back here after that zing by my man Gabe here. So who has the bigger game, Gabe? Who do you think, Akers or Mixon, for the running game?
I still feel like Akers came back with a speedy recovery, but I don't feel like he's 100% there yet. And you could tell that in the Buccaneers game when he was just losing stamina and he would fumble that ball. He almost lost in that game, and he definitely had those 2 fumbles. They could have scored that one drive, and then they get that ball back, just got to waste on the time, but he fumbled it and went right to the Buccaneers' hands. But I mean, I feel like Mixon's gonna have a bigger game. I feel like he's more versatile in catching the ball and running the ball. He's explosive because he has a little bit of patience, not like Le'Veon Bell patience, but he'll wait for that hole to open up, and when he sees it, he'll fire out right through the middle. So.
Absolutely.
Great take, Gabe. Great take. I also have some props with Akers and Mixon that I'll get into later. I'm going to go neither. One, I'm keeping an eye on Darrell Henderson. He's supposed to suit up. But I really think Samaje Perine has a great game out of the backfield with the dump-offs. Yeah. I think this is going to be a really big passing game. I don't think either side has huge rushing numbers. But that's just my opinion. Again, if Henderson suits up, maybe he's the bell cow.
You can't forget about Sonny Michel either. I mean, he hasn't been amazing, but he's gotten the yardage that they needed to take over for Akers, and then Henderson went out. I mean, he's been
just enough. Yeah. Every time they called on his number, enough.
He was there. He's a reliable source.
I think here's a prop bet for you. I don't know what the over/under is on how many yards for Mixon receiving. I don't know what that number is, but I'm going to say take over. I think what's going to happen is they're going to keep Mixon in the block. You're going to get all this. They're going to throw a screen or two to him in obvious blitzing situations. I think he's going to have a couple big ones. Okay. Perine definitely had that one, no doubt about it. But I think this is going to be mixed. I think they're going to sneak him in, maybe a first down, run blitz, something like that. They're going to get him out there. I think he has a one or two plays, because again, there's always something unexpected that happens in a Super Bowl. Somebody steps up. We're talking all this stuff, and who knows who it could be. I mean, is Arden Tate still on it, but does he still play for? I don't know. What I mean, somebody's going to step up. Because we're deep. We talked about a lot of receivers and running backs, and like you said about Michelle might be the guy.
Yeah.
You never know. I mean, you wonder if Akers' confidence is messed, but somebody's going to step up, some kind of prop thing. But I think that as much as we're looking after last week with Perine, I think Mixon gets a couple couple screens or something against some obvious run, and with those guys coming up field, you use that speed against them.
Yeah, like you said, that you never know who it's going to be, because I remember that 49ers versus Chiefs game, that running back for the Chiefs, Damian Williams, I believe his name was.
Yes.
He had 2 touchdowns. He had a huge game.
Yeah.
He won in that game. I think.
Yeah.
I think he should have won Super Bowl MVP, but it's hard for that. So I mean,
And we'll get into that later because I think my man wants to talk about the MVP, and the Super Bowl MVP is kind of a quarterback thing too.
yeah,
you know?
it's all
Outside of some receivers won it too.
Yeah, and the oddballs.
Julian.
Yeah.
You know, the guys that went to the
Did
Raiders.
Santonio Holmes win it?
No, I think he did. But I remember
He did, and and that was the greatest victory of all time against the Cardinals.
Yeah.
The toe tap. I was watching that play again today. Jordan, I know you're dying to talk about this again, but I have to tell you, that throw by Ben is the best throw of the football I've ever seen.
Yeah,
Perfect placement.
Yeah, it was. I mean, you couldn't get a better throw. You had 2 defenders safety closing in on him. You have to fit that perfectly in there, and Ben just stepped up and made a great throw.
And you were a youngster, but you got to see that. And when
I wasn't alive.
You weren't alive for that? Okay.
It was in 09. I was born in August 09. So
he was close.
Yeah, I was close.
He was close. But the last
wasn't
time the
alive either.
the last time the Cardinals won a championship in the old the NFL, right? When was that?
1939.
Yeah, 1939.
The Chicago Cubs.
Just a cool 33 years before I was born, or 35 years before I was born. So it's been a while, and
Josh was in high school.
I love the Cam Newton shirt. You know I love the Cam Newton period.
Yeah.
So I love the shirt. Don't let this Cardinals guy.
No.
He's sad. He's sad. It's been a rough year for him because they started off, had that great season. They were number 1 seed, and then
lost Aaron Rodgers, and I mean.
Yeah.
But another thing to bring back to the Super Bowl MVP, the only defensive player MVP was on the Cowboys, and they lost that game. I forget who it was to.
Larry Brown.
Yeah,
Larry Brown.
Yeah, they beat the Steelers.
Yeah, he had 2 picks.
Neil
And he had 2 picks or something. But I think so. I heard somewhere that he didn't take it because he didn't think he deserved it because they didn't win. I heard that somewhere. I don't know if that's true.
I know
They
he took
won,
the
though.
money from the Raiders.
So they won.
Yeah.
They won. They beat the Steelers.
Yeah,
in
yeah.
95. Yeah.
I'm thinking of someone else. I know
Yeah.
I forget something.
Someone didn't want to take it because they
Yeah.
lost.
I don't know.
There's somebody who did Ray Lewis win it?
I don't know.
Or did the,
No, the kickoff returner,
Yeah.
Jermaine Taylor,
No.
right?
No. Jacoby Jones.
Oh yeah.
Was it?
Yeah, wasn't he the one that did like that dance with
that's
his
a
fist
great-
where he would like?
It's Jacoby Jones. It's not Jermaine Taylor. I know
No?
that. No.
I'm pretty sure it was Jacoby Jones.
Yeah.
He's the one that did that dance with his like fist where he would go like this. And
Yes.
Yeah. I believe it was him.
It's Jacoby Jones.
That game was. I mean, I rewatched it. I obviously wasn't old enough to watch that like Super Bowl. I've rewatched a couple of them, but
Flacco won it.
Did he?
Yeah. When they just
But the
recently
kick
won.
returns were Jacoby Jones.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure. You can't. We'll have to check that out before we leave. When you're talking about betting, I'll look it up.
Oh, good.
Okay, so rolling along here. Let's just put it all on the line now. Who wins the game? Couple little blurb here, but really just your answer. Kid, who wins it?
it's a tough one, like I said earlier. But I'm still gonna stick with the Bengals. But I can definitely see the Rams. It could be a blowout, and I wouldn't be surprised if that would happen. But I'm still gonna take the Bengals. I just feel like Joe Burrow. It's a weird guy to compare him to, but I feel like he has Kobe Bryant mentality. He just goes in there I don't care if you doubt me or not. I'm just gonna go in there and play what I'm supposed to do.
Have you had the mama? Now they're calling him the Tiger King.
That's a great take.
I won't even get into my Tiger King love, but I mean, that's probably a whole other podcast all by itself. I got problems with the Tiger King. What do you think there, Collector?
Rams win. Rams win. It's going to be a great game. I'm excited to tune in. I'll be watching the Tulloons living the dream. Not Joe's Super Bowl party.
That's not Joe's Super Bowl.
I'm excited
Chips,
about that. But it's going to be a great game. I'm excited to see who's going to be the surprise, who's going to jump out. And I'm excited for that halftime show. It's going to be awesome.
And I'm going with the Rams as well. And we'll bring Gabe back and we'll do a Super Bowl wrap-up show and we'll talk about this. So he's the only one with the Bengals, and we might have to who-day him or something like that. So better yet, I think that's – so if Gabe is right, well, what's the bet? What's the bet for this now? So we both have the Rams.
And he has the Bengals.
Yeah.
I don't know. Well,
Yeah.
That's on you, my guy.
You know what? Listen, here's what I got. The intro for the show goes with the picks. If the Bengals win, Gabe's leading the show off.
Okay.
He's bringing us in.
Okay.
He's bringing us in.
I love it.
He's bringing us in. So that's what's on the line. So if you want to, if you're rooting for Who Day and you say Who Day going to start the show, it's going to be Gabe.
Yes. Yes.
But
in his Burrow jersey.
Yeah, I wear my Joe Burrow jersey.
you have a Joe Burrow jersey? Oh,
Yeah.
he's coming. He's coming.
He's hype.
I wear
I
it
was gonna
already,
say
but
we'll do the gritty, but that's just not good for ratings. Yeah, I mean that's just
Or
not
my
good.
back.
That's
maybe we all buy Justin Jefferson jerseys.
Yeah. So yeah, we'll keep that for the young at heart. But again, so we have our picks here, and I want to record this too. This can be as random as you want it to be, or as easy as you want it to be. Collector, who do you think the MVP is going to be?
Matthew Stafford. It's a if he has a good game, it goes to him. It could be a receiver if they have multiple touchdowns, but I'd say more than likely Rams win. Matthew Stafford.
I'm gonna say I'm gonna say 3. 2 for the Rams and 1 for the Bengals. For the Bengals, it'd obviously be Joe Burrow for me, but for the Rams, I would say what he said. I would go with Matthew Stafford on the offense, but I would not be surprised to see a defensive MVP on the Rams with Von Miller. If Jalen Ramsey gets a big pick or two or something like that, or Von Miller has a nice sack or something like that, I feel like they could definitely get it.
I love it. It's a great take.
I'm going with the pride of Eastern Washington.
Wow, Mr. Cup.
Cooper Kupp. It's just been his year. He's done huge things. He's been biggest on the biggest stage. I think that they're going to be more balanced running. I think he has 2 touchdowns. I think he wins it.
Do they do co-MVP ever?
I don't believe they've ever done that.
If he wins, he calls Stafford up, though.
Oh, yeah, definitely about that.
I
Is that a prop bet? Will they have that bet?
I don't.
Like who they bring up? Like,
oh no,
there's so many crazy
you
bets.
You can bet on anything.
The first
Heads,
time I saw betting for that, I went to in '99. I saw the Rams the Rams and the Titans. I was down in Vegas, and it was before they had the sports books and they had a big whiteboard. I think I told you about that before. They had all these crazy prop bets, and it was like I know the Lakers were playing that day, and the one bet was, will the score of the game be more than Kobe and Shaq score combined?
Whoa.
Which was pretty wild one. It was pretty wild.
I think the stupidest thing I've ever done was trade a rookie autographed Cooper Kupp card away.
Oh wow! That hurts. That hurts.
It did it to
hard.
my friend.
tough.
I mean, it was recently too, because I didn't expect him to because it wasn't like a rated or anything, which is good. But like still, I mean, it still hurts a little bit.
Yeah, and you're not saying what you got back. So
Yeah, what'd you get back?
Yeah.
No, we need to know. We need to know, Gabe.
I got a rookie James Washington autograph card and Ryan Shazier autograph card.
Oh,
And then I got a couple jersey cards, but I made him throw in a couple more things as I got a little
and
finesse.
you better go back to the well again.
So I mean, my man gave us the perfect segue because we have you here, we have the kid here, and we'd love to get your perspective on some things. We're going to kind of fire with you on this, and I'll go a little out of order of what we talked about, but where are kids at? We own a hobby shop. We talk about all the time, Main Street Hobby, 440 Main Street. A little shameless plug. It's what we do 24/7. Question for you on that is how are kids' views on collecting nowadays?
It's really not as good as it. I wasn't alive, obviously, but I mean, what it used to be is it's nowhere compared. Because kids don't even know what like a football card is. Like, there's only a couple kids that I know that know what they are and how to do stuff with them. But like kids were just they don't care. I play video games, but some kids just play that and they don't. It's just so fun to collect those, and I have an autographed helmet from CMC, so that's really cool. But I would like to look into getting more things because I would like to be a big collector and stuff. So it's really cool.
Now that you're famous on our podcast, we got to get you doing some commercials and getting these kids to come down here. We need your generation. What do you think? So along those lines, if you had to gauge of your friends or your classmates or who how many kids your age are excited for the Super Bowl?
Most are excited for the Super Bowl, but some are just. It's just I'm just gonna watch it because it's a Super Bowl.
Yeah.
There's some bandwagons. My best friend. After they beat the Bucks, he was like, "Oh yeah, I'm a Rams fan." I was like, "Oh, of course you are."
Yeah. There's
always he got kind of mad at me, but he's always because he liked the Eagles when they won the Super Bowl. He liked the Chiefs.
Oh, he's one of those guys.
Yeah, he liked the Rams when they went.
Is he a football player?
Yeah, he's Bryce.
Okay.
Bryce Vaughn.
He called you out. He called
Bryce,
you out.
come on, Bryce. Yeah, so we got their football team. Their 6th grade football team is really good, man.
Awesome.
I enjoy watching them play. They don't have too many close games. Yeah, they're definitely
That championship game was close.
Yeah,
it was 12-0. It got scared there.
Yeah.
Because I got hurt early in the second half, and so I was sitting there the whole time.
Yeah.
But then they got down to that goal line, and I was like, oh, I just ran out there.
Yeah.
It hurt,
Okay.
but I just went out there, and we got to
Okay.
stop, and we won. So
That's what I'm talking
it was
about.
great. It was cold, but football is just for the fun with your friends. It's just so much fun when
And you guys have a special group and a special bond. But so along those lines, talking about sports and Jordan, you can kind of ask him a little bit, about basketball and soccer with your friends. Like, go ahead and ask him, compared to football.
Right. Well, I know you're a football player, so naturally football's your favorite sport. What other sports do you watch, or are there other sports that your friends like?
So I watch baseball, and I sometimes watch basketball, but it's kind of like a sport I just kind of stay with a little bit. Like, I know all the big players, like James Harden just got traded to the Sixers and stuff.
Yeah.
But my friends don't really watch professional sports, and they don't know as much as I just know them off my head. The only other kid that really knows them like me is Blake Holder. He just moved from North Star, but he's a really cool kid, and I always have fun talking with him. He has the Cooper Cup card. So
we're coming for that. Bring that to the hobby shop. I want to buy that back for Gabe, man. I want to buy it back. Yeah. I know for me, that makes a lot of sense because you play football, so naturally you like that. I played basketball, so that was my favorite sport. You know what I mean?
But I feel like the kids that like basketball are kind of some people actually like it, but some of them are just kind of it's the best, coolest. I don't know. It's just it's different. I mean, it's if you like it like you, I understand that, but when kids are just kind of oh yeah, basketball's you have to have a reason to like it so much.
Yeah.
So when we get this buyout of the collector's contract, we're bringing Blake Holder, right? Blake Holder's coming as the collector.
Geez.
He made the Cooper Cup deal. Yeah.
But
he's a savage.
He's messed up a couple trades with me as well. So
Okay.
We don't even want to see it. Yeah. You don't even gotta let him
gave
know.
him the Cooper Cup to get some other stuff. I like it.
You set him up.
Yeah. You and Blake got to come down to the shop.
Yeah, I'll tell him. I mean, he would.
Yeah, you guys can both have a gift card for you coming on the show here with us, and all you got to do is let us film a little video down there when you're down there, and get it on your TikToks or whatever, and let people know what we have down there.
I would show you, but I don't want to interrupt it. Yeah. But this kid from Somerset, we played them in basketball yesterday. There's a video of our team playing them, and it's on TikTok, and it has over 100,000 likes right now.
Wow.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because they scored it. It was an and one. So, I mean, I was covering the guy, and they got past me, and then we just kind of messed up our defense, so we got fouled, and then, So,
100,000 views.
Over.
Wow.
Likes.
Whoa, eat your heart out, Larry Stryker, on that one, man.
Middle school basketball team.
We're not even middle school. We're elementary.
Elementary school.
Elementary. More than the Slow Jam chicken wing song.
Singing Sweet Nothings, the chicken wings.
If I knew the kid, I would tell him to shout out the channel. If you guys have any likes, I mean, that would be.
I love it, and we need your generation to help promote the show. We need to get more.
I told some of my friends about it. They like the name, the Deez Sports.
Yeah. It's a little edgy, We kind of stole that from my guy over there because his name is Dietz, so we stole Deez. But we've been talking about that for a while. But that's really cool. And just going along the lines of what we're having and kind of wrapping things up. So we'd love to get more kids into collecting. I think that'd be really big. I mean, I'm seeing a little bit more of that. We're seeing more kids in. We gotta give a shout out to our man Gleason. He's always in.
Yeah, he's a savage. I started talking to him about the collecting game, and now he uses my words against me, man. And I just love it. I just love it because literally what we do means nothing if there's not a generation after us.
Yes.
You know what I mean? So it's fun. It gives you a reason to watch. When you really like a guy and you have their card, it's kind of like having on a fantasy team, but you have something that's worth money.
Yeah. And on our channel here, we're going to start doing some live breaks.
Yep.
Have you ever seen a break before? A card break?
No, not really.
So what happens is, and we'll have you on there with us because it's really cool. We'll be doing the same thing, except we'll be opening packs of cards.
Oh, yeah, that'd be really... Oh, yeah, I've seen those. Yeah, those are... I watched those.
And the people watching us will be getting the cards. So we'll be talking about sports, talking about the players. We'll take turns opening packs.
Josh will be awesome.
Josh will be doing his best job not to mess things up over there.
Yeah, we have some good product. We have some 2020 Prism and 2020 Optic. So the guys that get the Bengals, they get all of the Burrows that are in there.
I get so... My friend, he traded me a rookie wave Joe Burrow card. I don't think it's worth much, but then he traded me a Justin Herbert Heroes. It's a cool looking card. It's probably worth $15, but it's just
the Heroes. That's
the
Donruss,
Heroes
right?
insert.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But there's some. I have some cool cards.
It's about the visuals sometimes, man. That's a cool looking card. I don't care if it's worth 5
that's
cents. I love that.
And I do too. But let me tell you this. Let me find out about my man Gabe though. Yeah. The Cooper Cup trade might have set up about 10 trades down the road.
Yeah, that might be some money right now.
Yeah.
If you would have won MVP, I mean,
you're
that
smart.
You're
but
smart.
that was like pool though. You can't play, and then when the money's on the line, I bet you the trades after that, you got some pretty good cards.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of talked him into giving me more because I knew I messed up as soon as I said yes.
The
but
negotiator.
I have
what's his name?
Blake Holder.
Blake, if you still had a Cooper Cup, we want it.
Yeah,
we want it.
Bring it to the shop today. We got some trades going on. We definitely have
Blake,
a lot of cool things.
I'll bring it down for you.
Yeah.
I gave him a wink.
Yes,
Maybe I'll
yes.
just take it
And we
back.
also, we're gonna do Raz's too for signed helmets. I know you guys like signed helmets. You were talking about that. We're gonna do something that. We'll get some really cool ones in.
Yeah.
The DK Metcalf one is probably
it's
unreal.
nasty. We just got that
Yeah.
Urlacher.
They're doing all these different helmets now that are so
Like the
cool.
matte black. I had the matte. I forget what they called it. I think it was the Clips one. That one.
yeah.
Yeah, the mini. I have two of them. I have one that's not signed, and then my McCaffrey one is signed.
Awesome.
So
we
it's really cool.
I love the Panthers helmets. We got a mini DJ
yeah.
Moore. It's nice. It's the
Yeah.
black.
I have a
Yeah.
DJ Moore jersey too.
Nice.
So
Okay.
Very cool.
I mean, I like him. I just hope he stays with
I'm gonna
us.
tuck it in the back for you, my guy. I'm gonna work a
Yeah.
good deal for you, my
Yeah.
guy.
Let your dad know that all your birthday gifts can come
Yeah.
from
Yeah.
Main Street
Yeah.
Hobby.
Yeah.
But hey, so going. We have a little bit more time here that we want to talk. Two things we'll talk about. And first, Gabe is not old enough to bet, and that's a good thing. And Gabe, don't
Yeah.
ever get involved
I
with it.
don't.
No,
But it
yeah.
is a big part of the game. We have our other guest who will be coming on. He's actually in Orlando right now, the happiest place on earth. With his definitely has a Mickey. I know Amanda runs a show and he loves his kids. So the Chiseler definitely has Mickey ears on right now, whatever he's doing, and he's cheering for his daughter who's in the cheering thing. So we give him respect for that. But I'm going to look up a couple things here.
Okay.
I like to be right, so I'm checking on Jacoby Jones. And then I'm going to let you know Chance's perspective.
Yeah,
we'll
Ray,
have him
Ray
on.
Lewis did win the MVP that year, so
Okay.
I do not know who did the
That
returns.
was his last game,
Okay.
correct?
I believe so.
What, the-
yeah, I
Yeah, it
think
was
he went
against
out
the
on
49ers,
top.
right?
He went out
Yeah, it
on
was
top.
against the Niners. Yeah, that's what I thought.
Okay, so right now, when I check right before the show, it's Rams -4. I love that. So here's what I put together. There's a parlay that I like. It's Rams -4, Odell Beckham Jr. to have 80-plus receiving yards, and T. Higgins to have 80-plus receiving yards. So you'd have to win all three of those bets to win the parlay, and that's plus 1142. What that means is for every $100 that you would bet, you'd win $1,142 back on that. Some other mini prop bets that I like T. Higgins over 69.5 by itself. I just think that he has either one or two big catches or a 6 or 7 reception game. As I mentioned earlier, Mixon, I have him under 95.5 rushing and receiving yards combined. The reason for that, he's either really hot or really cold at it when he's receiving the ball. He had 40-plus yards in 6 games, but he had 5 yards or less in 9 games. So it's either he's catching the ball all the time or he's not catching it at all. And I'm really leaning towards P. Ryan being the guy catching the ball out of the backfield. The coach could be correct, though. When we come on next week, he could be spot on. It could be Mixon doing the screens when they're bringing the blitz. But I think it's going to be more P. Ryan. The Rams are the best run defense that the Bengals have faced so far. So even if Mixon does bust a couple runs, the combination of receiving and rushing at 95.5, I'm going under. Real quick, when it comes to the Rams, I have Akers under 16.5 rushes. Again, that's leaning on Henderson maybe coming back, but also the split between him and Michelle. I don't think that he gets 17 rushes.
They chop the carries up.
Yeah. And the final one would be Stafford over 0.5 interceptions. That's minus 140. So for every $140 you bet, you get 100. I think it's almost guaranteed. That would be probably my guarantee out of all these is that Stafford's going to throw a pick. I just don't see him getting through the game without interception. That doesn't mean that I think that they're going to lose. Again, I do think they're going to win, but I think that's a great bet. It's the odds are, you got to spend some money to win some money. So that would probably be my favorite bet. And again, that has probably the lowest odds too.
And the Chiseler, he says 74% of the money right now is on the Rams, and he's real scientific about this. He likes Cincy covering at 4.5.
Okay.
So he thinks the Rams will win the game, but it'll be less than 4.5.
Okay.
He said if the line gets down to 3 or lower, he wouldn't know what to do with that. But you guys talk a little bit right now about what do you think, Gabe, as far as the Akers thing? I personally think Akers is going to go off. I really have that thing. What do you think?
I really don't. It's hard to tell with running backs because they could have a huge game or they could have no game. Because, you've had running backs before that have been stellar all season and then they just, kind of fizzle out or, I know he hasn't played all season, but I just still feel like he's not 100%. But I feel like next year when he's 100%, he could be one of the best backs in the league.
Yeah, I love him. He's a great running back. Was great at Florida State. Bad injury, Now, the more that you say that, it's almost like a setup. It's like, with the chance that Henderson comes back and with Michelle, it's like a no-brainer he's not going to get 17 rushes unless he's hot at the beginning.
Well, and here's the question. So, here's the big question. If they're up, does McVay run them? And he's not been a guy who showed that he's going to be patient. You know what I mean?
yeah.
So if they're up 2 scores, and does he get 10 carries between the third and fourth quarter? I mean, if that happens, I mean, but all these teams in the playoffs, that's why these leads are going away, because teams aren't doing it. Right. Usually, you remember Bill Cowher and the 4-minute drill, let's hand the ball off. It doesn't happen. Everyone keeps slinging it because they're saying, listen, these people come back, we want to outscore them.
Yeah,
but they're also not taking any air out of the ball. So I mean that's important.
Defense wins championships.
Yes,
and also time management, rushing the ball. I think you're spot on. I just don't think that if they're up, Akers is the number they call because of the fumbles.
Yeah, that's what I think too. I was gonna say either Sonny Michel or Darrell Henderson, because when Darrell Henderson played, I don't know if you guys played fantasy, but he was he was a free agent, so I picked him up in fantasy, and he helped me play a lot. I also picked up Debo in two fantasy leagues.
Jeez.
2. He won me.
Wow, winning.
Yeah.
Winning.
We're getting him in our fantasy league next
Great
year.
pickup, yeah.
Now,
He's
great.
great.
The question I have for you, though, is...
It's the engineer getting a phone call.
Yeah, it is.
Oh, is that Pro Wrestling Extreme Talk? They're ready. They're ready to make the trade.
Yep. Anyways, the question I have to go to you on this is... I think the Akers thing is, because here's the thing. He had 2 fumbles. Absolutely. One was kind of bad, but for a guy that was rusty, the one on his head was crazy. I think, again, that all plays into where this number is. Yeah. I think Akers is a huge game. And, I'm actually going to go back, and since Gabe got 2, I'm going to I love Cup. I think Akers is the MVP. I'm going to think outside of the box. Okay. I have Cup. I'm just telling you, again, I have a hunch. I mean, he's a game breaker. He could break a big one. It's never usually, I mean, sometimes it's exactly who you think it is, sometimes not, but I'm going to go outside the box. I'm going to actually get rid of Cup here. And I'm going to go with Akers. Cup's my number 2. You got 3, so I'm going with...
You should ask him to be your Valentine.
Wow.
Yeah, the zinger from Gabe. The zinger from Gabe.
God, he wants all the smoke.
Yeah,
he does.
I don't know. I mean, that's so risky with the running back. Like, you can't bet on the running back. Have they ever won a Super Bowl MVP? I don't know. As far as I know.
No clue.
I'll tell you this. I'm such a collector. I will send him the Valentine as long as he signs it and sends it back. Whatever I got to do.
Like. Low key, Akers can win the MVP because we got a PSA 10 Prism at the
Yes,
top.
I like where your head's at.
I have a rookie.
See?
I have a rookie wave.
Yeah. And
if
you'd have messed with me the first time, you traded that Cup away. So if he wins it, man, Blake Holder's partying.
Yeah, no, I didn't trade him the Akers. He traded me the Akers.
No, I'm saying the Cup. If Cup wins,
if he would have won the MVP yesterday, I mean, that would have been huge. I mean, that MVP.
Do you think he should have won the season MVP?
Him or Jonathan Taylor, I believe. I don't think any quarterback played the whole season, like 100%. Like Kyler, he was there the whole way through until he got that injury. If he didn't have that injury, I feel like it would be Cardinals versus Bengals.
I like your take on the MVP thing. You said it's a quarterback award now. 100%. Kind of talk about that a little bit.
I just feel like it's just a favoring thing because quarterbacks get all the credit, but they can also get all the hate on something. Like Patrick Mahomes, when the Chiefs were losing at the beginning of the year, they were like, oh yeah, this guy isn't that good as we thought. But I mean, he just showed him. But I just think it's a quarterback reward. You got to give chances to other people because you have so many great players. Like I feel like I'm not being biased, but when McCaffrey got 1,000 rushing and 1,000 receiving, he should have been in there, but they didn't.
Yeah. And like you made a good point too about it's supposed to only be the regular season, but it seems like it sprinkles into the playoffs as well too.
100%. But the thing with McCaffrey that year, they had Lamar, and Lamar played great that year, but I still don't think Lamar's a good quarterback. I mean, he's good now, but I feel like he's gonna keep taking hits like that ankle. Like you can't, you gotta be careful with that because he's kind of thin. He's a thin quarterback. You got to be more built. Like, even Kyler can run, but Kyler's a little thicker, you can tell. Like, just thicker in the body a little bit. But, you just got to be – he's just kind of flimsy, I feel like.
Okay. Yeah, well, hey, so, I mean, especially after that Valentine's Day dig, you got to be back here next week so we can recap this. I mean, hopefully, who knows what's going to happen. Gabe might be here running the show. The kid might be in charge next week of setting us off, you know what I mean?
And you brought up James Harden getting traded, so not only will we recap the Super Bowl, we'll get into some of the trades and how they're panning out since you like basketball too.
Yeah, and we'll talk a little bit about baseball and, what we think is coming there with the lockout. And, we're going to continue this going after the football's over. We're going to find everything to talk on every week. And, just excited again. Very appreciative for Josh and his mediocre job that he does back there. Very appreciative for you people that are following us. How about you, Collector?
Yeah, we appreciate it. Please like the video, share it on your social media, click the bell so you get the notifications on when we upload new stuff, and subscribe. We really appreciate it.
Right, Gabe, and if you're trading cards, don't trade with Blake Holder.
Okay, I know, but like he still gave me a couple of good cards. So,
Okay.
I got
Well, you know
some-
what? When you come back next week, I need to see the haul.
Yeah.
I need to see you.
I don't
We'll
know
put
exactly what it is.
Okay,
but
we'll
it's
put it
pretty
on
good.
there. Yes.
But I also have a rookie Cam Newton card, which I'm pretty sure is like a solid $50. But,
Nice.
I mean,
nice.
my uncle Randy, he always got me cards as a kid, and
Shout out Uncle Randy.
Uncle Randy's the man. That's
Shout
my
out
guy.
Uncle Randy.
That's my guy.
He always
Yes.
bought me cards, and I was obsessed with Kelvin Benjamin, which is a really weird player.
No, he was good.
Yeah, he
Yeah.
was
He
good at
was a
the
beast.
Panthers. He was a bowling
He was
ball.
a beast.
Yeah.
I told him the
Florida
bowling ball
State,
because he
yeah.
would just catch that. And
We have
run through.
awesome that Florida State one on eBay right now. Remember the exquisite patch?
Oh,
That was my
yeah.
first jersey I ever
Yeah.
got from him.
Really?
It was a Panthers Kelvin Benjamin jersey.
We might have to
Nice.
end that for my guy.
Yeah,
But I want to
check
see the
that.
haul. We'll
Yeah.
break down the trade next week.
Maybe we'll bring a
see.
box.
And then,
Yes.
and then when he traded the Bills, I got that for Christmas. I got a Bills jersey for Christmas. So I've been
Nice.
loyal to Benji,
Okay.
but
That's,
I mean,
Yeah,
it's
Yeah,
just
Uncle Randy's
Benji.
definitely the man. Me and your dad have definitely had some nice trips and hanging out with Uncle Randy. He's obviously the man. But I mean, again, we'll wrap it up here. For the kid and the collector, I'm the coach. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you next week. And is it going to be Who Day or the Rams? We'll see. No matter what, we're going to see a great halftime show.
yes,
Yeah,
definitely. I'm excited.
Eminem's the goat rapper.
Yep.
Wow. Good
Okay.
take.